Hello, hello. Welcome to IGN UK podcast number 308. My name is Gav Murphy. To my left, Ireland's 8th best export, probably.
Oh,
Rory
number
Powers.
one. Definitely number one.
And to my right, the hardest man in Croydon, Mr. Chris Tilley.
Hello, pod people.
How you doing?
Duck
Duck
Hunt.
Hunt. Do people care that it's 308?
I don't think so.
No.
Why?
Cut that bit out.
It's already in now.
Well, you can cut it
I'll
out.
never say a number ever again.
No, I was wondering because we used to say it, and then we were like, no one really cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
The numbers?
Right,
No, it's
yeah.
not. It was keep tab. And
It was
then-
for basically we used to do it because whoever was uploading it, so they'd know what number it was, which is not a reason really to do it. Anyway,
It is not. But we had some big news today, and that was the Batman vs Superman trailer dropping during Jimmy Kimmel. I actually woke up around that time, so I watched Jimmy Kimmel and watched him intro it with Ben Affleck. It was quite a cool little intro, like he was sort of pretending that he didn't really know that Ben Affleck wasn't Batman. And Ben Affleck does the thing, he was like, I need you to say my real name. Say, what's my real name? And he was like, well, it's Bruce Wayne. It was quite funny.
did he call him Batfleck?
No.
You
Nah,
woke
he
up
didn't
around
do
the
it.
time that was showing?
Yeah, I woke up about 20 minutes before he was on, so I found the stream and managed to watch
Was that
it
not
on
really late or early? Or?
Yeah, it's like 25 to 5, something
Ooh,
like that.
what? What's wrong with you?
Well, I knew I had to come in do the rewind theater for it anyway, so I was kind of had that in mind.
Dedicated man.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of this.
Really?
I found out when I woke up this morning.
Different lives.
I didn't even watch it till lunchtime.
I watched it like 4:30 this morning. But yeah, no. So, I mean, we've watched it. We've done a rewind theatre on it. It's pretty interesting. It'll be up by the time you do this.
And a superhero show going up
as
on
well.
Saturday.
But, I mean, there's been a lot of big trailers in the last week. We had the Civil War one as well. So we thought we would go through our favourite trailers of 2015, because there's actually a really cool article that's at the minute being sort of spread out that you guys have done.
Yeah, the top 100 trailers of all time.
Movie trailers.
Yes, movie trailers. I'm guessing that you guys had a look at that, and
Yeah.
what did you
course.
think of the top 10?
What was the top 10?
I take it you guys had a look at that. I wrote it down because I knew you hadn't. Number 10, Alien.
It's a good one.
Number 9, Skyfall.
Really?
I don't remember that trailer.
That wasn't one of the greatest trailers of all time.
It's the number 9 of the greatest trailers of all time. Number 8, Prometheus.
It's a good trailer.
Number 7, The Dark Knight.
Which one?
I don't know off the top of my head. Number 6, I'll say Cinematic Trailer 2. Number 6, Raid 2.
Yes.
That's a good trailer.
Number 5, Requiem for a Dream.
That's a really good trailer.
Number 4, Mad Max, the first Mad Max Fury Road trailer.
yes.
The teaser.
The Comic-Con one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's really good, that is.
Number 3, The Social Network.
Yes.
The Kanye West Power one.
I clicked on it and it wasn't working because I clicked on something wrong, so I didn't check which one.
It must be the Kanye West Power one, because that is brilliant. But the Radiohead one is really good.
I love
as
all
well.
their trailers.
Yeah, I don't think it was a teaser. I think it was a full-on trailer.
Okay, yeah.
Number 2, Independence Day.
It's a good one.
Okay, yeah.
Jurassic Park, number 1.
New.
Cliffhanger.
Right era.
Is it?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones?
Nope.
Um,
Indiana Jones isn't really a film. You need to qualify it with a title. That's a character name.
you said no anyway, so I don't think I need to.
Go on, what is it?
Terminator 2 teaser,
Ah, okay, yeah.
which was a great teaser. I remember seeing that in the cinema. But
That's cool.
anywho,
Well, this year, so we've expanded this, and not just movies, it's games and telly as well. Rory, do you want to kick us off with...
I will kick us off with a game trailer. So, my first one of 2015 was the trailer for Destiny the Taken King expansion.
I just watched this.
I thought it was good, especially because this was the first time I ever gave any attention to Destiny before.
Okay.
And I think that this one faced a challenge, which was how do we get more people on board, but also appeal to the people who have already played the game. You have to hit that sweet spot, and they did it really well because they have this whole introduction where it's like establishing you and everything that you've done, and basically there's this new guy entering the galaxy, and he's like the biggest, baddest guy. He's like everything you've done is nothing in compared to this new person. And for me, it was cool because obviously I had never played the game before. But then it was saying, well, here's this new guy that's coming, that's going to be in the game. And of course he's going to come because you killed his son with his own sword. And I was watching it and I was like, I did what? And it's like,
See, I thought, because there was a thing that you could do when The Taken King came out, where you could go to a website, put in details, and they would make a trailer from your actual Guardian, from your actual character.
That's really cool.
I thought that's what you were going to put down, and it weren't. I don't like this trailer. I think it's boring.
I thought it was great.
It's just reminded me of just any. It could be any sci-fi game.
No, I thought it looked
No.
fantastic, especially because like I didn't really know a lot about the game. Like all I'd seen was just gameplay footage where it just looked like a lot like Halo.
Yeah.
But this was some really great exploration of the worlds that you're in, like some of the different weapons you're going to be using. It was an introduction to the 3 new classes that I had never seen before. I mean, like it was like a guy in robotic future armor summoning a bow and arrow made of light and shooting it at these alien creatures. I thought it was really cool. I think it was great.
Did you watch it?
I didn't, because what I did watch was the trailer you originally put on this document.
I think I put about 4,
and then you pulled it. But I watched that one, made some notes on the Division.
Oh no!
So if we were talking
bastards.
about your Division now, like I didn't put stuff on there. We shared this document,
We do
people,
share this document.
and so whatever link was on there, I looked at. I looked at his. I looked at mine. I looked at yours, and then you changed yours after we finished.
The problem with the Division one, because I absolutely love the Division one.
The E3 Christmas one.
It was the cinematic one that I was in
Yeah,
love
it's
with.
wicked.
It wasn't in 2015.
Oh right, okay.
It was before that. They did release another trailer, but it was a gameplay trailer in 2015. So unfortunately, I had to remove it from the list because I wanted to be authentic.
Well, I really liked it. I said it had a great score.
It did have a
I
great
thought it was
score.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, it's really clever what they did with taking the people out.
It was good. It was good.
So very clever. It made me think of Dead Island a little bit. Like it was quite tricksy. Like it wasn't like direct footage, but they messed with
Yeah.
it. So yeah, let's not talk about that anymore because that's not on the list.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your one? What's your first one?
So I'm gonna surprise everyone here. I've
yeah.
gone for a little known release called Star Wars: The Force Awakens and the teaser. So
Which one's
the first trailer.
That was your favorite?
Yes, most definitely.
Really? I
Do you know what I'm
I think
talking
we're both
about?
going to disagree.
Is it Chewie? I'm home.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought that
good.
was number
Yeah.
2.
It might
that
have
was
been.
the second.
What was the first one then?
First one was November, so it was John Boyega. The first time we saw his face.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second one then.
The second one was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, with the Lucasfilm coming up, it gave me goosebumps. The music
Yeah.
kicks in.
We got to see her in the cinema as well.
We did a couple of
Oh,
times,
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
we? Like you recognise the planet. It feels like Star Destroyer in the sand. Luke saying the Force is strong in my family.
Yeah.
The look on Boyega's face when he takes off his helmet. The Millennium Falcon, getting our first look at that again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And obviously Chewie, we're home. Like
Chewie, we're home's amazing.
it's just
yeah.
well, it's the money shot.
Yeah.
It was a perfect teaser, and it didn't really give anything away. It showed me everything I wanted. It got me super excited.
That's why I think if you put all the trailers that we've seen for Star Wars together now and all the TV spots, okay, we do know a bit more than when we first started. But I feel like from that Dawn of Justice trailer that we saw, I feel like you kind of know everything about the film.
Sure.
Whereas Star Wars, I kind of, you might know, we might be able to say, oh, this might happen in Act 2, this might happen in Act 3, but like, we're still kind of in the dark, I think,
Yeah.
even after all this time,
Yeah.
a year's worth of trailers. Whereas with Dawn of Justice, I feel like they gave away a little bit too much, maybe.
Agreed. No,
Yeah.
it's been a. When we talked about the Dawn of Justice trailer on the superhero show, I
Yeah.
said exactly that in reverse, saying that Star Wars
Yeah.
has done this in a much smarter way, as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely, yeah.
What made me laugh though, it's 70 million views on YouTube, 10,707 dislikes. Who are you people
Yeah.
that hate that trailer enough to click the dislike button?
Yeah.
10,707 of them,
People love to hate stuff on the internet.
How many million views was it?
70 million.
70 million.
Yeah, 70.
Because
I'm sure there are mirrors where it's got a bunch though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but,
cool.
yeah, I mean I would say that's one of the best trailers I've ever seen. That would be in my top 10 of all time.
Definitely, yeah. I think that's definitely up there. I think the Chewie We're Home thing was amazing. I think as well, because we saw it as part of like Star Wars Celebration for the first time in the cinema. So we saw it like the same time as they were showing it there.
Yeah.
Introduced by Warwick Davis as
Yeah,
well.
I mean that's what
like-
kind of made it, was seeing little Warwick in front of a very big screen.
IMAX screen. Yeah, that was really good. So my first one is The Big Short. It's just the Adam McKay film, which actually we never talked about. We've just done our look forward to 2016, and we never talked about The Big Short, I don't think.
Yeah, they keep inviting me to see it, but I haven't.
Oh, really?
I haven't been able. Well, it's not something I think we're going to cover a lot. And
Yeah.
like in terms of cast, I said, can we do any interviews? And maybe Steve Carell. It's like, nah, that's not what I'm after.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. I mean, it's kind of about like the financial crisis and the 2008 collapse, I think. But the trailer is just really, really slick. It's got some really good, introduced you to all the cast. Like Steve Carell's doing a funny voice again. So is Ryan Gosling as well, actually.
He's doing funny face, to be honest. Like they made him look really weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like looking at him looking weird.
But I just really like sort of slick trailers like that, and it's got awesome bit of music, which is When the Levee Breaks, the Led Zeppelin song, used really, really well. And
I didn't think it was a brilliant trailer. I liked the first bit with Christian Bale. I thought it looked like a really good film, but in terms of a trailer, I was like, I like the first half of it better than the second half.
It kind of reminded me of the Wolf of Wall Street trailer a little bit, like the sort of like fast cuts to the beat and stuff like that. And I'm a bit of a sucker for that. I thought that was really good.
Did you watch that one, Rory?
I didn't know.
Even though we put all the links so we could all see them.
I did watch. I watched a lot of them on this list.
Okay, well, we're going to see.
Hang on, so you watched a lot of them, but not the third one in the list.
No,
Yeah,
we're going to find out how many he's watched as we go along.
Well, if you haven't watched the third one in the list, bro.
I was slammed working until like 15 minutes before.
No, this
we
is going to be
decided
great,
do
but
this,
we'll find out if you watched a
Jesus.
lot. Did you watch your next one, Rory?
I did.
What's that?
I've watched it a lot of times. So this is the live action trailer for the Attack on Titan film.
That's bonkers.
It's crazy. It is really, really insane. I mean, so the anime that was released is like one of the biggest this year or last year. It's like completely taken the world by storm. It's so huge that it's done this. It spawned movies, games, like all this merchandise around it and spin-offs and things like that. I think I was really nervous the first time when I heard they were making a live action film because obviously adaptations of anime has had like video games very, very bad past, you know?
Sure.
And it's a difficult kind of concept to do when you have a serious budget for CGI and special effects. So I didn't know how they're going to pull it off. I mean, you have these giant monsters that basically eat humans, and that's kind of a difficult thing to pull off.
Yeah.
But after that first trailer dropped, I was so excited. The first shot when you see him peering over the wall and the smoke just billowing from his face, and then just the chaos and the action, it was really like the anime has come to life. But I think one of the interesting things about this trailer and about the actual film is that the film was not that good. It really wasn't that good at all. And I just think that was a really cool point because I loved the trailer and it got me so excited. But the actual film itself, not that fussed
I think
about.
that could be a recurring theme in this feature, to be honest.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I thought that was a really. I hadn't seen it at all until I clicked on it half an hour ago, and I thought it was really effective.
I stopped watching it, I have to admit. The bits, I thought it was really, really good up to the point where it introduced the sort of Hunger Games style element where they were just like, right now we're going to go after the Titans.
Soldiers,
yeah.
And I thought, oh god, I was like,
Well,
I stopped watching it.
They've got to do something.
Yeah.
They can't just let these Titans kill
That is a
them all.
good point. But I kind of left them to then. It's like, especially the bit with the giant 111 with like the big smile. Face,
Terrifying.
like, really scary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. That was one of the things when I was watching the film the other week. I think if you're a fan of the anime and you're watching it as an adaptation of that anime, you're going to be disappointed because while the anime is fantastic, they take a lot of liberties in the film and change a lot of the plot points and characters that you're going to be a little bit disappointed. But as a standalone, just Japanese horror film, like an independent film, it's a really interesting concept and really well, like some of the cinematography.
Well, a guy shouts out, "Why did the Titans appear? I want to know." And I really want to know. Like, I was like, "Yeah, I'm this guy." I will say there's a Korean film called The Host that came out about 10 years ago. You should watch it if that's your kind of thing. It's absolutely brilliant, but it's about a big kind of creature coming to basically destroy.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, but it's really good.
Yeah.
It's unlike you said Titans wasn't great.
No, it's not.
This is a great film.
The anime is fantastic. I'd recommend you watch the anime, but
cool.
The film, unfortunately, not.
Good choice.
Awesome. What's next for you, Chris?
I've gone for a double header. I've gone for a couple of horrors,
Okay.
The Visit and Goodnight Mummy.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah, well, what did you think of those trailers?
Oh, you watched them, did you?
I watched both of them.
Did you watch both of them?
I did.
I'd love to get your.
Hang on. So you watched two of his, but you didn't watch one of mine.
I watched. Well, we'll get into that. I
what
really
did you
liked
think?
them both. I
Okay.
really liked them both. I had actually seen Goodnight Mommy from. I think you showed it to us like a while
I
back.
said it round, and said this
it
is messed up.
Really freaked me out. It really, really messed with me.
It is a good trailer.
Because you just get enough of the narrative to really want to watch more. But it was the first time I'd seen the Visit trailer, and that was really cool for me personally because it really hit home for me because it reminded me of a lot of horror stories that I used to read when you grow up as a kid. And I think it's because when you're younger, there's a really familiar theme in a lot of horror stories for kids where it's something's wrong and the kids know it. and they try and tell adults, but the adults won't believe them.
Yeah.
And that always seemed like a really popular thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as a
That's
kid,
good.
you would realize, you'd be like, well, this is such a horrible thing.
It's
Because I can imagine
it's monster
this.
in my closet, a monster under my bed.
And no one will believe you. And I just love
That's a
those
really
kind
good
of
point. So
stories.
in case you don't know these, because obviously we're talking about quite visual things on an
Yeah.
audio.
Yeah.
But Goodnight Mummy is about is a foreign film about two kids torturing their mum, or their mum torturing two kids. You're not really sure. Two twin,
Yeah.
little gorgeous looking twin boys who are super creepy. And
Yeah.
The Visit everyone should know because that's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I put them both down, and then I was making notes on both of them just now. And I was writing down the same words: weird, scary, creepy, freaky, disturbing. And it applies to both of them, so that's why I kind of I put them together. And what I found interesting was watching the Visit trailer now, having seen the film. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I think it pays off if you've seen the film as well, because you can see, what's going on a bit more, and it's.
I never. I saw The Visit, but I didn't watch the trailer before going to see it, and I do think quite a lot of the scariest bits are in it.
Yeah,
I
no,
think.
but it didn't ruin the film. I tell you what, it's a
Okay,
funny
yeah.
thing with horror trailers. They can show you the scares, and yet when you're watching the film, you will not remember them.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
what
good.
it is. I think with action films and superhero movies, I remember the moments, but with horror films, they're normally so fast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, there's quite a lot of freaky moments in the second half of The Visit.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's the moment that I remember most is in the trailer. I was like, oh, I wonder if that would have spoiled it for me. But
What,
maybe
would you
not.
mind getting in the oven to clean it?
No.
Something else?
Yeah, something else. But I don't want to say it just because I don't
No,
want to
sure.
But my also the funniest and my favorite bit from The Visit is in the trailer as well. So I'm glad I didn't watch it before, because I went mad when I actually saw it, because it's really funny.
Which bit?
Funny.
The bit with the shotgun.
Okay, yeah.
That didn't look funny at all.
It's so funny. It just
What do
says
you
It's
mean
not
funny?
It's not funny. I
That
don't
was
know what's wrong with
horrible. That
Gav.
was really
Oh, it was really
creepy.
funny.
But yeah, if you want to see a child
Good
put in a
trailers, yeah.
cockroach in its mother's sleeping
yeah.
mouth, then watch the Goodnight Mummy trailer.
Yeah. Next up for me, kind of similar vein to Rory, is the True Detective Season 2 tease, which uses like a lady that they had throughout the series doing like original music for them in the club, pretty much like every episode as well, you see her. And it was the first thing that we saw. And just like, the first thing you see, they're like, this is how they're following up True Detective. And even though the second series was pretty rubbish, I still think it's a really, really good tease, because it just teases that world and the atmosphere and the characters, and it does enough, I think. But you don't
No,
think
it's
it
so
did.
boring. It
What,
was
the
so
teaser?
boring. Yeah, I found it so dull. I'm not.
Why?
I find it very hard to remain entertained through slow fade in, fade out shots with dreary music in the background. I'm just like, oh, come on, I need something here.
only 60
And
seconds
it's just
long.
Too long. Too long. I have a very sharp attention span. You got to grab me and you got to hold me.
Attack on Titan was 3 minutes and 12 seconds, mate. This is less
But
than
it
a
was
minute.
giant monsters eating humans. This was like
This-
a fade in.
What,
of
Vince?
a
You called
woman's
him Vince
face,
Vaughn a giant
and then-
monster? I thought it was really good. I
really
really
like
liked
it,
it as
yeah.
well. I can't remember if I'd seen it before or not. I'm sure I had, but I thought the music was great. I like all the actors.
Yeah.
And they're all really good looking and nice to look at. And it's just
Vince Vaughn?
well, he was very good looking in
Yeah.
Swingers.
Really?
He's got a
pretty
bit.
good looking in this.
He's got a bit puffy.
He always-
He gets puffy. He goes up and down.
He always looks so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
does. It's because
tired.
he leads a good life. But
Yeah.
I feel. What was I going to say? I feel like it's the show's sold already because you're coming out of season 1.
Yeah.
So they didn't really need to do much, and they did
And
just
it didn't.
enough for me.
That's what I think, yeah.
And it was better than the trailer that followed. Really,
Yeah,
There are certain things where I think that's enough.
Yeah.
Great teaser.
Maybe
good
that
choice.
was
Really good.
maybe that was part of it because I didn't see True Detective season 1, so I'm seeing. Although no, because it's different people, so I
Yeah.
still don't have any connections to these
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
So no, I have no idea. Maybe
It's
just
the first time we
didn't grab
saw
me.
a bunch of them.
Well,
like,
they're different people. It's not. It's
Yeah.
a different cast and different
Yeah.
characters, but just getting that atmosphere. I thought it had quite a Twin Peaksy vibe as well.
Definitely, yeah. And there's some really, and there's also like creepy bits, like in the one of the creepiest bit in True Detective season 1 is sort of this really slow shot that ends one of the episodes where you think you're meeting the big bad guy and
Yeah.
he's walking really, really slowly. And there's a shot at the end of this which is like kind of similar to that. And I thought, it kind of harked back to True Detective season 1, which is exactly what I wanted, and it's exactly what it wasn't. in
But
season
yeah,
2. But,
for me, that was the trailer being better than the show.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Rory, what's your
Prime
next
example.
one?
My next one is the Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice trailer, the first one that we saw.
Okay.
I picked this one because I'd heard a lot about the film. I obviously, we write about it and talk about it so much on the site, but this was the first time that it really sunk in what was going to happen in this film. It was right at the end where it's that you know exactly what scene I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where it's the thunderstorm and the "Do you bleed?" and Superman slams down to the ground, and you just realize at that point, these guys are going to fight. Batman and Superman are going to fight. That's exactly what's going to happen in this film.
Absolutely agree.
And it was until you saw Ben Affleck in his bat suit and Cavill in Superman suit, and just the tension between them and just building up to this point, it really gave me a flavor of what was going to happen in this film, and I was way more excited than I thought I was going to be.
It's something that people have been dreaming of forever.
Yeah.
You know, since this was first drawn in a comic book, and so to see it realised. You hear about it, but just seeing it, I think you're absolutely right. It's like the first time you saw the Avengers all together.
Exactly, yeah.
You know,
that 360
the
shot.
360 shot, the money, the money shot, the hero shot. I agree, that's enough. You know, they could have literally just done that. They didn't need to do anything else in that teaser,
which we will get onto a little bit later.
Sure,
but no, I completely agree.
So you think that's better than the new one?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that trailer could have definitely been postponed for a lot later and come out more. In a time more recent to the film.
Yeah.
Would be more appropriate.
Chris, your next one?
Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
It's not the best Mad Max Fury Road trailer because that came out last year, and that is a better trailer.
Ah, right.
But
I wonder why that one wasn't on there.
Yeah, but this is still a really, really good trailer.
So which one is this one?
I think it's trailer 2.
Yeah, it is.
Or it's the final trailer. It's just the energy, the momentum, the madness, the kind of the visual insanity. You know, you had Nick Holt saying, "Oh, what a lovely day," and it just seemed like this is so off the charts. Like it just seemed completely unique and original, and well, not original, but practical. You know, we were seeing yet more stunts that all looked completely real, and for me, it was better than the movie. I liked the movie, but honestly, the movie after a while got to me. It gave me a headache, and the last half hour, I felt like the movie could have been the last half hour.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know. I'm in a minority massively on this one, but I actually enjoyed the trailer more than the film. So
really,
yeah, I thought he did a really good job of selling a film to me that I didn't love. But like I say, I know most people disagree with that.
I know what you mean. It's weird.
I bet you loved it. It's just noise for 2 hours.
I think it's like one of my
Colourful
favorite.
noise.
I think it's my favorite film in at least like the last 2 or 3 years.
This is awesome,
I absolutely loved it. It broke a lot of conventions with the types of films that I've been watching recently, and I think the trailer did that as well, which is really important because I think you fall into that problem where it's like if you're releasing a blockbuster film, there's a very like cookie cutter style of trailer that you can release, and especially I know we're not going to go into it, but the first Mad Max trailer. The first 30 seconds, I'd never seen a trailer edited. It was so unapologetically fast and cut so ruthlessly. It was just so incredible to watch, and it just got me so excited for a film that, as you said, I had no prior interest to at all.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to round things off then with the Cuphead E3 trailer. Now, Cuphead is a really weird little indie game made by 2 guys in Canada, and it was kind of shown off a little bit before, but we had a first full trailer at E3, and it's kind of like harking back to like 1930s, like Max Fleischer style animation, and it's all original music as well, which is the thing I really like about it. So all the score is originally done by the jazz musicians. It might actually even be the same 2 guys, and I just really, really love the style of it, and it doesn't like give away too much of the game, even though, but it shows you like some of the cool bosses.
It's vintage jazz. It's not new stuff. It's all the original recordings.
No, it's original recordings for the game.
Ah, okay. Well, I read that it was actual original jazz recordings they'd used.
Yes, I think it's their original jazz recordings.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But yeah, I just really, really love.
Has the game come out?
No, it hasn't.
Right. I found it really strangely nostalgic just because I grew up on platformers exactly like that.
Yeah.
And also I grew up on a lot of cartoons like that because you would know this, Roy. Back in the day there weren't many TV channels and there weren't many kids shows, and there would you'd get these crappy old-fashioned 1940s cartoons on at tea time, and you'd watch them.
Yeah.
And it was just bringing back all those memories of watching this stuff that I pretended to enjoy. I didn't really enjoy it.
I watched a lot of Tom and Jerry. Didn't particularly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some of the pre-Tom and Jerry stuff, though, was just weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. Visually, it looked great. But equally,
really
just looking at that side-scrolling platformer style was making me frustrated. Bringing back memories of how frustrated those games would make me.
Well, that's one of the funny things as well about this game is because it is allegedly ruthlessly hard.
It's solid. It's
unbelievably difficult.
solid.
What is the point?
I think it's kind of strange because Well, it's really cool because a lot of the people, obviously, when they're going back to make like a 2D platformer game, the obvious choice is like, let's make it an 8-bit game. Like, well, let's go like vintage and towards like a previous time. But this is a totally different style in art direction, which no one has really done before in a video game. But then obviously that's a bit weird. It's like you make it look so childish, but you make it so difficult to play.
The only thing is with it, like the trailer is amazing, and I played it like the day after seeing the trailer when we were out at E3, and because it's so hard and because it's so fast, you just want to kind of stop and look at everything. But if you stop, you're dead. Like, even though you've got infinite lives.
Sucks.
You know the right difficulty level? Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion.
That's good.
Because I think it's about the only game I've ever completed.
That's hard. I think it's hard, though.
Does it?
Yeah. So
Nice one, Chris.
So those are our favourite trailers, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm sure we might have missed out some of your favourite ones, so let us know. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com. Now this week's great stuff. 2,500 people have apparently auditioned to be the young Han Solo, according to the Hollywood Reporter.
Did anyone around this table get the call?
I sent my tape in.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Got to get up there.
Did you?
Got to get on the list.
You didn't do your stupid accent, though, did you?
I did this accent.
We're home.
Ooh.
We're home. Chewie. That was supposed to be Gav, but it didn't really work that well.
Yesterday, he was trying to do my accent. And what did you say? Do you want a curry?
No, I said Doctor Who. Doctor Who.
That's all right. That's quite good.
That's not bad.
That's how Gav says it.
What about the curry thing? You said, do you want a curry?
Yeah, but it sounded...
When have I ever asked you if you wanted a curry?
You're always
Just
on
then,
that
just then, twice.
Just then.
Who auditioned then? Do we know? I haven't actually looked this up. Do we know who auditioned?
Apparently.
Yeah.
So the guy from Mr. Robot, Rami, whatever his name is, he has. But also Dave Franco, Miles Teller.
No.
But my favourite one is Ed Westwick. The guy from Son of Rambo.
Oh yeah, the older brother,
yeah. I think that is the one.
Do you?
I like Dave Franco.
No,
I mean, he's like cheeky
Too
enough
smug,
to, like,
too smug.
Way too smug.
What do you mean too smug?
Taron Egerton, I think, is number one.
I'm looking something up now.
Definitely number one. But Ed Westwick is. I completely forgot about him. I think he's in Gossip Girl or one of those.
Yeah, he is.
things.
He is.
And I think it's him. I really, really like him.
But you want it to be him rather than you think it's actually going to be him.
I want it to be him. Yeah. Obviously, they don't know yet.
So is this lots of stars and then what?
There's
2,000 other
2,500 people have
peasants
have apparently auditioned. So whether or not they're sending in their tapes or anything like that, like we don't know.
I'm a little insulted. I wasn't told they were auditioning for.
Well, you can still send.
I'll do young Luke. That's more fitting. Just grow my hair a bit longer and
Oh, that'd be. I could imagine that actually.
The Force is with us.
Friend of the show, Duncan Jones.
Yeah.
Hi,
he
Duncan.
was suggesting a guy called Ben Schnetzer, who I interviewed. He's in Warcraft, which Duncan's directed. Who I interviewed on the set of Warcraft, and didn't figure out until a long time after. He's the lead actor in Pride. Where he plays, is he English in it or is he Welsh? He's English in it, isn't he?
He's English in it.
I have no idea. So that's good acting for a start. But I think he plays a cool young buck in kind of Warcraft, like a really likable, tough kid. And so he said he'd be really good. He's a good-looking guy. He's got a great face as well. So
Well, yeah, but let me have a look. What kind of face?
let me hold on. Let me
Is he
get
scruffy looking?
Because that's the thing. That's the thing with Taron Egerton and Ed Westwick. I can kind of see them doing like the Han Solo mannerisms. Definitely not Miles Teller or Dave Franco.
No.
Even though I really like both of them.
Not Miles Teller.
Why not? What's your beef
I
with
don't,
Miles
like,
Teller?
I don't like his head. I don't like the shape of his head.
I can kind of see that. He's got a big forehead.
nice looking
Yeah.
lad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. What a role though. What big shoes to fill.
How young is young Han Solo? What age is?
Don't know.
Don't think we know.
We don't know anything.
Looks
we don't
like
know
sounds like
anything about
they're talking to people in their early 20s.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You've got to go unknown, I reckon.
It would be great to create a star.
Definitely, you've got to go unknown for it because, like, in the same way as like John Boyega style, someone who maybe has been in a couple of small things, but
how often do they do? But John Boyega was playing a new role, whereas this is like James Bond, almost, and they've rarely picked an unknown for James Bond.
Yeah,
Lazenby's the only unknown. It didn't work.
But James Bond is a bit of an exception.
Timothy Dalton was, but Han Solo is like James Bond. I think we could see other people playing this character down the line.
But you think playing him in a different way?
No, sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. So yeah, you're right. It's got to be someone that looks and sounds like him, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I mean, like, I actually really think that Ewan McGregor does a really good job of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I actually kind of like that. A lot of people didn't like his sort of impression of the voice and stuff, but
yeah, I found it grated on me a little bit.
Yeah,
I kept comparing it too much because of the voice. It was, I don't know,
hard.
it is hard. I'm going to be a better judge of that because I'm hoping to watch all 6 in the next couple of weeks. So
the next Star Wars.
yeah, like in a row. So I want to see.
It's a good idea.
I've never done it, and I want to see how that transition feels.
I'll give you. I've got copies of this thing called the Despecialized edition. And I've downloaded all the copies of that. So it's basically this. I interviewed the guy actually. I got this cool like interview for the for Rebel Base from it, and it's this guy called Harmy. He's like this possibly Polish guy who went through using all these different bonkers techniques to take out all the changes that George Lucas made. And like he was just a guy who was just like barely had any kind of no experience editing or doing any visual effects or doing any kind of masking or anything like that. And he taught himself how to do it, and like. Bonkers.
And he's possibly Polish.
Possibly Polish, yeah.
Are they high def?
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'll bring them in for you because they're really, really good.
You're going to watch them all like back to back, like a big marathon?
As much as I
like...
can, but I don't think I'll watch 6 films in a row.
Because my brother and me did it, and it was like, it's over like a day.
Yeah, I think it'll ruin my enjoyment of the latter 3.
Yeah,
if
by
I'm
the
tired
end,
and I've seen enough, so I'll try and space it out. But I want to do it in as short a time as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've done it recently, and what I would suggest is for Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, is do it while you got something else to do.
Sure. I'll keep my phone out.
We got Lego. We got some Star Wars Lego and built
That's
that.
a good
built
idea.
that while we watched those, and it was fine.
Build the Death Star before you destroy the Death Star.
Exactly.
Huh?
If you
Not
want.
bad.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see who plays him. I think, to be honest, it's got to be an unknown because otherwise, no one's gonna like it. Everyone's gonna go mad for it anyway. But like whoever they cast, people are not gonna like it, are they? Because that's what.
They're not gonna like the casting, but they might like when he's in the film.
Exactly. Yeah. A big thing. What's up? What's next is great, Rory.
Oh my gosh, this is probably the greatest thing that's happened all month.
Okay.
Me and Dan, and obviously Rich is dead, but his reanimated corpse.
Yeah.
All went to a pub quiz, all based on the UK Office.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. Did my invite get lost in the post? Or
I think it did.
I'm intrigued to know what happened there.
Well,
Okay.
actually, it was a full team as well. Well, no, it was supposed to be a full team.
I was
because
invited and turned it down.
Yeah, Bex was supposed to come.
That's even worse for him.
And so was Rich's girlfriend, but she got sick and couldn't come. And then Bex, well, to be fair to Bex, she had a flight and she got in like halfway through, but she was still a valuable member of the team.
Okay.
But I mean, we had watched The Office pretty much on loop up until this point. We were answering some ridiculously specific questions.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like in the episodes where the guy comes to do some team building exercises, there's a room in a fake hotel that David Brent makes up where there's been an accident. It's like, what is the number of that room in the hotel? And we were like, 362. Like the most specific. And they're like, what's the price of LaserJet ink paper at the company they work for? And we were like, whatever. Yeah, Wernham Hogg, like 260 a piece. And like all these like insanely specific
You
things.
sound super annoying.
It was. Yeah,
Everyone
oh my
hates that
gosh.
team.
Well, this was the best part as well.
Well, also as well, can I point out? So my girlfriend does quizzes. Like she does like a monthly or fortnightly quiz back where she comes from, and she did an office one. So in the pub on Friday night, she did her quiz for them. Did any of those questions come up?
Yeah, there were a couple.
Yeah,
and
all
also, Rich just Googled office pub quiz, and a lot of the questions you could
Not
tell.
while you were there.
No. We just used Google for the answers.
It feels like you were cheating in advance. I do not approve.
I think that's
That's just called
researching.
revision. Cheating
Yeah.
in advance. Basically, we
But you smoked them.
We were doing pretty good. And then at the end, the guy was like, all right, so for the last like special round, we want one member from each team to come up on stage and dance like David Brent. And we were like, oh, like it was Sunday afternoon. None of us really in the mood. We just worked so hard on like trying to get all these questions right.
Have you been drinking?
Not really, just like one drink pretty much. So basically one person from every team came up and they're all excited. And they were like, all right, someone from the back. And we were like, I think we're just going to not join in.
How many teams?
No
were there?
way, you didn't.
There's about 6 teams.
Okay.
About 6 teams.
And did you get points for doing the dance?
You got loads of points. It was like 10 or 20
Why
points.
didn't
for, like,
you
doing the
do
dance.
it?
I was not in the mood. Like,
Would you have done
We've
it?
been really enjoying the quiz. Would you have done it, Chris?
bollocks would you have
if it
done
meant
it?
winning the quiz,
It was.
and there's a bunch of other people are doing
It
it.
was literally like up on this stage and everyone going na 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 na.
So
And you
no
had
one-
to do like the weird,
So no one did it?
awful dance. So no one from our team went up.
But did anyone else do it?
Yeah, everyone on
Everyone
every
else
other
did
team
it. It's
did it.
pathetic. You're pathetic.
No, but it was literally just everyone in this room laughing at these people dancing like idiots, doing like these really awful
Mate,
dance moves.
they're having a great time. They're laughing at you.
And then
They're
It's
having
called
a
fun.
little
It's
dance.
called fun, Rory.
I'm usually okay. I once danced for an ice cream in our office. So
Oh, yeah, you
that's,
did.
That's
You
I've
can
already
watch that
set the
video
bar.
somewhere online.
I can't
That's
believe you
not
didn't
going
go
away
up. I
anytime
would have
soon.
thought if I had to put money on anybody that I know
Yeah.
going up to do the David Brent, if I was there, I would have made. I reckon I could have like peer pressed you.
Yeah, me
going
too.
up.
Well,
But in spite of you not getting those points, you still won.
That was the awful point. Like at the end, he was like, and the winning team is the guys at the back who didn't want to dance. And it was literally just, boo. Like the most awkward conclusion to any quiz.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
so if you want to come up and get your £50?
You should have gone up and then
like
done the dance.
coughs
Like,
Middle fingers, everyone. Nah, nah, nah,
Did you
nah.
win 50 quid each or 50 quid as a team?
As a team.
That's not bad.
It's all right. Paid for drinks, so that was pretty much it. Just
Nice.
a free evening, but it was just unbelievably awkward. Just the stares at the end. But should have revised more. Didn't even need to dance, and we still creamed him.
yeah.
I won a quiz last night.
Did you?
London's hardest film quiz.
The bigger boat one.
Yep.
Nice.
Victorious.
It is really
What did you
hard.
get? What was your prize?
A rocket raccoon.
That's pretty good.
Their prizes, right? When I first moved to London, their prizes were amazing. They were so good. 'Cause we used to do that quiz all the time. And then their prizes just got like worse and worse and worse. But in fairness, it is one of the best quizzes because they put
Yeah,
so
it's a very
much
good quiz.
effort into
It's a
the
really
video
good quiz.
stuff.
What's one of the? Give me an example of one of the good prizes.
There was a giant Hellboy.
How giant?
Like it was huge.
like to scale or
massive.
something.
They do a good job, though. They
Yeah,
do a
it's
good
really,
job.
really good,
They're
yeah.
good guys, and it's a fun quiz to do. So I recommend that one.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, good. Chris, what's your next great thing?
We had Zach Galligan into the office, star of Gremlins, Billy Peltzer in Gremlins 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He stopped by last week because he was presenting the films at the Prince Charles.
Yeah.
I didn't make it to the screenings, but I got him in here to do quite a long interview that we're currently figuring out what to do. He played Gremlins game with you, didn't
Yeah,
he?
that was fun. It took everything in me to not call him Billy. But to be honest, after meeting him, he was such a nice guy. Even if I had, I don't think he'd have been asked.
You should have said, "Can I call you Billy?" for the purpose of this.
That would've been
he would have.
great,
I think
yeah.
he would have been up for it.
My favorite thing is because it was something I said to you earlier on in the day, and I was like, "Oh, I remember now. I used to fancy the lady gremlin from Gremlins 2. Did you guys?" And you were like, "Absolutely not. No, I didn't go in." And then you asked him it, right? And apparently
He got weirdly offended by it when I asked him. He was
Yeah.
cooler with you than he was with me.
Yeah,
with me,
'cause
he was
when,
like,
when I asked him, he was just like, "Nah, not really." And then, but apparently, yeah, he was
"Yeah,
super.
he's like it's a frigging alligator with makeup on." Like, and we had a long chat about Gremlins 2, which will probably be next year. We did a fun video, 10, 12 things you didn't know about Gremlins, which will be up very soon. But I also asked him about Gremlins 3. Now, people like things he said at the Q&As, people wrote stories saying an update on Gremlins 3. There's no update. He just said stuff that was said in April.
Yeah.
He reiterated, he's got no new news. They've not even spoken to him. But Chris Columbus said that it will happen and it will be connected to the originals. It will be like a Jurassic World, kind of like a reboot, but also a sequel.
Cool.
So will he be involved in it?
He doesn't know at this point. They've not reached out to him.
Yeah.
He has no idea. He wants to be involved.
He wrote some stuff, right?
He said he wrote a treatment a few years ago because he was trying to get the ball rolling,
Yeah.
and they weren't interested. Obviously,
That's kind of sad.
yeah. So I asked
Do you think
him.
it was like he just like called him up? You alright, Billy? Haven't you heard Zach? He's like, you alright, mate? Haven't heard from you in a while. Yeah, I was just passing by. I've got this script for Gremlins 3. Can I come up and read it out? Oh, I'm really busy. Oh, you're already in the building? Come on, Ant. Come on up. Come on.
Didn't you do that last week? So I asked him what his ideas were, and we just actually got chatting. We started like spitballing ideas, and he basically pitched me 4 ideas for Gremlins. So I thought I would read them out.
Okay.
They're up on the site in full if you want to see him actually pitching this. But His first one was, I've given them names: new liquids, new threats. So what if it's not just water that affects them, but what if like milk does something different to them, or Coke?
Milk was the worst liquid you could have gone with.
It was the first one he said.
It's
actually.
even calmer than water. It's
But who knows how it reacts with a
'cause it's like
Mogwai?
alkaline, isn't it? So like you put it on like burns and stuff.
Well, it would calm them down.
Urine?
You don't know, do
What
you?
if urine does something weird
Well,
to
that's
them?
a much
Yeah.
better one. That's wilder than water.
So what if different liquids turn them into different kinds of creatures?
I'm not
Imagine that
above
product
that
placement
idea.
in that as well.
Like fairy liquid on them.
Like 7-Up makes them really cool.
Cherry 7-Up.
Sunglasses, yeah.
I don't mind that.
Number 2, Godzilla Gremlin. So this was quite a long one, but he said, what if there was an additional third stage? We don't know anything about these creatures.
I like that. Like this is quite a long one. It sounds like it needs to be the shortest one.
No, it's good.
It's big.
No, because there's more here.
Okay.
As he put it out in both films, the gremlins are wiped out within 24 hours.
Yeah.
But what if they continue to change and turn into different things?
That's actually good.
Yeah, this is less good. So in his film, Phoebe Cates has left him. So Billy's a single dad. He's struggling for money. His daughter, to make them some money, sells Gizmo on eBay. And a Richard Branson-like character buys Gizmo for his daughter. So Gizmo comes over to London, and it comes over to London, and they spill different stuff on it, and it spawns all sorts of crazy stuff, and then multiplies. The gremlins come out and all go down into the tube, because that's the one thing you want to see: gremlins in the tube messing up.
Yeah.
But then he said, "Do you know?"
Miracle Wolf in London.
He said, "Do you know what a fractal is?" And I did not. So a fractal is when you take a bunch of different little pieces, like pyramids, to turn into a big pyramid.
Right,
yeah.
He said maybe the gremlins are off somewhere and they're like burrowing in the underground, and they all group together and turn into a Godzilla-sized gremlin that bursts out and like takes out Big Ben.
I mean, I kind of like the second stage. I like the eBay thing is actually quite smart. Like, because if they're really poor and then she sells it and then it's like, where's Gizmo? Oh, I sold him. Like, but yeah, I don't know about the giant thing.
Gremlins evolution continues. So this is back to what I was saying earlier. So you have they turn into a third thing that's grotesque. Okay. But he said, what if they change into a fourth thing, and that fourth thing is like a butterfly, a beautiful, harmless thing? So you have a sweet ending.
That's
do they know that's coming? Maybe that's part
It'd
of
be
it.
quite anticlimactic though if you're like, we need to stop it before the moon reaches a point in the sky, like something, and then it happens, and then they just fly
No,
away.
because it would be really good. Because like, if like they learn that they've got these evolution, but they don't know the last one is going to be good, so like they're like, right, we have to stop it at this one, or by the time it gets to this one, it's going to be really, really bad. But they don't manage to do it. So you have this like really, really sad ending. They're like, oh god, what's it going to turn into? It turns into something really nice.
Yep.
What about that?
I think you've got a good idea.
Yeah.
I do think we should dedicate a podcast to our ideas for this.
I've got a good one. Okay, right? So we'll take the first idea. So there's more points where they can evolve. So they keep changing, and it keeps going on. They keep getting bigger and more dangerous.
Right.
And then we realize the only way to beat them is to have the same effect. So when we drink water, and if we put that on gremlins, then they become monsters. But we need to find out what the gremlins drink and put it on ourselves, and then we'll change as well. And then so it's like gremlins versus
What
like
are you talking
superhumans fighting out.
I'm with you. I think it's a terrible idea. But I have his final one.
Okay.
He thinks that they should switch it up a little bit in the second one. So no Gizmo.
Okay.
And this time it's a female Gizmo in another shop somewhere else, gets bought for a little girl, and the same stuff starts happening, and it all kicks off, and they're in trouble and they don't know what to do. How do you stop this? You call in Billy and Gizmo. And so they come in like Ghostbusters or something to save the day. They sort the whole thing out because they've been through this before.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's just like he cuts to Gizmo's little cage, and he's got a little female Gizmo with him, and they hold hands. And so like Gizmo's in love.
Yeah.
And then who knows, sets it up for another sequel because they could have a baby Mogwai, and who knows what's going to happen there.
Gremlins.
But
I think like.
And he was talking about what I was saying. The marketing potential for little female Gizmos selling to little girls is big,
massive. Yeah, but because like to be honest, there's got to be more Gizmos, right? Like, there's got to be more Gizmos somewhere.
Yeah, I mean the novelization gave him a backstory, and he was from
Right.
another planet, and someone had invented it. But that's in a novelization. But yeah, I mean, of course there has to be. So although I guess he does replicate. So I don't know if you do need another one. But I don't know. It'd be great to get people to write in their pitches for Gremlins 3, though.
idea,
so and maybe we could dedicate an actual podcast to our ideas.
Gremlins thing, yeah.
Crates of them being shipped off to an island for safety, but the boat sinks.
Oh
So
no!
all of them. It's
Hello.
just crazy. They start coming up, like evolving from the waters.
Gonna put a pin in these now,
All right.
Rory.
Yeah.
But save them. People can write in IGN _UK
And,
feedback. What?
IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com.
Yeah. Last
Yeah.
one, Rory. What's your bit of news that you're liking?
This week we went to the launch of the Battle of Jakku, which is the first DLC map for
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront. Me and Gav went down. It was basically us and a bunch of other YouTubers and press in this arena cage.
Yeah.
We got to be the first people to play the new game mode on the very first map. And it was the first time we've done this from the UK. We streamed it live on IGN.
Yeah.
And thank goodness I did not succumb to the pressure. I kicked ass.
Yeah, you did. You did really, really well.
I saw
I was proud.
they used it on the Snapchat as well
Yeah.
yesterday. So you have like a little 10-second preview, and it was literally just me like killing one guy, hitting one guy, turning around and like sniping someone in midair. Like
Yeah.
that was the preview. I just zoned out and became one with I heard the Force calling me and I answered.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was kind of odd because it was a weird event and there was a lot of like tech issues, as you can imagine. There was like 40 people playing, and it just didn't work. So they kind of had like Rufus Hound and this lady presenter who I don't know their name, and it was kind of awkward. You were meant to play another map. You were meant to play Walker Assault on Jakku,
Yeah.
but it didn't work. So it was kind of like this like really rubbish ending to
Yeah,
it.
it was. Yeah, it was a bit of lapse in communication, I think, between the tech team and the hosts, and especially because they were broadcasting it themselves, EA, but then there were also maybe 5 or 6 people who were playing that were broadcasting separately, like
Yeah.
us, for example, and
Yeah,
Ali
yeah,
A.
yeah.
Which we won't even get into that guy. Jeez,
He's
we got a bit of a rivalry going on. He doesn't know it, but
Yeah.
we do.
He's certainly not aware of it. He's a really nice guy, but his game is definitely COD because
Yeah.
he was good in the practice, but he wasn't very good in the actual live thing.
No.
I felt kind of sorry for him as well.
Why? Because I mopped the floor with him.
He actually kicked his ass. I think he actually came last on
He
the
did.
map that we've
He
got
did.
up on.
Yeah.
It's up on site, so guys can watch it if you,
You guys
want.
can laugh at him.
But I kind of felt a bit sorry for the 2 YouTubers that were there. So it was Ali A and Vicstar, who like I'm not really into like the YouTubers scene, but they are 2 really good guys to watch.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and they kind of had this like really really awful stilted kind of like chat with like Rufus Hound, and it was like really really bad, just like rubbish Star Wars puns in their script, and I just kind of thought like, let the YouTubers talk.
I know.
Like, that's why those guys are here.
It was
Just let them do it.
such a horrible juxtaposition between a really great idea and a really bad one. So it's
Yeah.
like, let's get all these YouTubers and we'll allow them to stream it themselves on their own
Yeah.
channels. So we'll have our channel, we'll have all these different channels.
Yeah.
And then also they have like hosts that don't necessarily fit with the content, and then they think we'll set it up like a rivalry, so we'll get
Yeah.
Ali A to fend off against this other guy who there clearly wasn't a rivalry going on. It was
Yeah.
really forced.
I really think that it's like older people trying to market like YouTubers and stuff and just having no idea how to do it, basically just like make it like a rubbish Top Gear. All right, we'll do that. And it's just like, that's not why people watch YouTubers. They watch that to get away from a rubbish Top Gear.
Yeah, it's a completely different audience.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's insane.
But
You never told me who he was, by the way.
who?
Rufus Hound.
He's like a comedian.
Oh,
Yeah.
Comedian turned actor.
Yeah.
he's very nice. Very
Was
nice
he?
man.
He's a really nice guy, yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Well, that's what was great. Now we're on to what's irate. And the Batman vs Superman trailer, I wasn't that impressed with it. I really, really, really like the tease. Like, we actually just did our Looking Forward to 2016 podcast the other day, which you'll hear later on before the end of the year, I think.
Yeah.
And you asked me, Chris, like, what superhero movie was I most excited for? And I said Batman vs Superman. Now I feel like I've seen it all.
That really felt more like a clip from the movie rather than a trailer.
load
That
of
scene
clips.
where they kind of met, it just really dragged on. It could have been cut up and made so much more punchy.
Shut up, Rory. Like, the editing, like,
What?
it's like, it should have been cut up. Like,
It
really
should have
quickly.
been. It was-
He's an editor.
I'm
He's
an
allowed to
editor.
say
That's
that.
how I think.
It really
Do you
dragged.
disagree?
He thinks in terms of edits when
That's
he- in
fine.
life.
That's totally
I
fine.
don't think that it
That's why
dragged
sometimes we're having a
up.
conversation in the kitchen, and I'll be like, we're gonna cut here.
Yeah.
And I just walk out.
He's editing your words out right now.
I'm not. You're muted.
I thought that was one of the best bits of it, but yeah, you're right. Like I'm not sure why that was in it. But there was like some really bad editing later on though, where like they cut a lot of it to music, and I kind of didn't like that. I really like the teaser bit where you seen like the desert scene, which like Krupa's adamant is a dream sequence, for various reasons. I'm not sure if it is. I don't know. But that's the most intriguing part of all of that for me, because just the other stuff and like introducing Doomsday so early, I just don't understand why they did that.
I mean,
like, keep some stuff, man.
Have we all seen enough of this film by now?
Too much.
I don't need to see any more.
Way too much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm perfectly fine for them to put a pin in this until 2 weeks before the film's release. Honestly.
Unless they're smarter than us, and there's a very good chance that they are. And actually, we think we've seen loads of it, but we haven't seen.
Well, we haven't seen Aquaman yet, if he's in the film, and they've got to explain what those kind of whatever Kryptonian soldiers or whatever those is going on there.
Yeah,
we've got to find out about them, but I can't think of too much more.
No,
I've spent all day talking about Superman.
Yeah,
but we've done a whole superhero show on it that will be live on Saturday about why we think they may be shown too much, or how much of their hand they're shown.
That'll be good.
And speaking of that, the thing that's upset me a bit this week is, and we're part of the problem here, we do print every rumour that's going because people are interested, we're interested.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that kind of spoilers seem to have become scoops.
Yes,
and it's something I don't write up. I know we do put them on the site from time to time, but I don't like knowing spoilers. I hate that I have to analyse trailers sometimes, because I'd rather go in knowing as little as possible to a film. But it's happened with Guardians of the Galaxy. People are so desperate to find out who Peter Quill's dad is that there's so much speculation online, and then people are writing news stories that everyone are covering or saying they know who it is. And and James Gunn has been very good on Twitter. He's very good with people on Twitter. He does seem to answer a lot.
Yeah.
He engages, and he's saying we're not going to tell you. I know who it is. He knew who it was. He said before he wrote the first one, and you'll find out when you watch the film.
Yeah.
But there was apparently a story this week saying who it was. I haven't actually read the story, so I'm not even going to say.
Okay.
But he did quite a long Facebook post just to debunk it, saying there wasn't a word of truth to it, and kind of make a statement about it. He said, from this moment on, I'm going to stop commenting on any rumours surrounding Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because eventually someone is going to come up with a spoiler that has some truth to it. That said, the rumours surrounding Quill's parentage at the present moment are completely false and aren't even close to the truth. I don't know how people come up with this stuff, but it certainly isn't through legitimate sources. Which I think, high five,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Fair enough. I think it was like called Heroic Hollywood. I don't know who they are, who said this, stating it as fact. But good for you, James. Keep as much as you can secret.
I always find that really strange when people are really into a film. So, like for a sequel to something, they'll hunt to find out these secrets.
Yeah.
What are you going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Well done. You've found out something that would have been fun to enjoy.
We do an element of it, and I do think that Hollywood is feeding the beast a little bit, and that they do put clues in the trailers and things. When we were analysing Spectre, it's part of the fun.
Yeah.
And people can choose to engage or not, but now it's just like I always find it very hard to not stumble across. If that story had been true, to not see that somewhere on Twitter or Facebook or a website, and it was annoying me because I don't want to know. I want to be surprised or sit down and in the dark and find out.
Yeah. Absolutely,
it's interesting what he says there about like at some point he's going to stumble across something that's an element of truth there. Because
when you're denying things, you don't want to have to deny stuff. Like it was a shame that. Oh, I was going to spoil a film there. Carry on.
Because I was up this morning with the US sort of people when Jimmy Kimmel was on, and when Doomsday got introduced, there was some guy who writes for one of these like big scoop sites in LA, and he was just like, see, I called it, and he's making this huge song and dance about the fact that he'd sort of guessed that Doomsday was going to, like, he was the one that everyone had laughed at, saying that he was going to Doomsday, and then, like, he was just making this huge song and dance about it, and I kind of, like, I just sort of scrolled through his site just to see what it was, and he just writes up any old shit.
Right.
Like, and it's just, like, it's one of those things that, if you throw enough shit, some will stick. Like, but he was claiming, like, oh, yeah, I came up with this, like, I knew it was going to be Doomsday. I was just like, you've just guessed.
It's speculation.
Right.
I'm pretty sure we discussed on the Superhero Show a long time ago about the fact that there would be another villain and who could it be, and potentially Doomsday. It's common sense, isn't it? But equally, I would rather have not had it confirmed until I watched the movie. That would have been fun for that to be a big surprise.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're right about this week anyway. But let's move on. Some feedback then.
Sure, I'm going to start.
What we got?
So, you guys, while I've not been on the podcast, seem to have been annoying people.
Oh, yeah?
Who spoke about Jessica Jones on the podcast last week, maybe?
Me. Cooper.
This is from Alan Scobie, who says, this is the first time I felt the need to send in some feedback and afraid to say I was a bit disappointed with your discussion of Jessica Jones.
Is it because we don't have the same opinions as him?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
I recognise that you applaud aspects of the show and its first, but considering all of that, some of you spent most of the time focused on David Tennant's character and none at all talking about the show's protagonist or other female characters. Is that true? Did you mainly talk about the men and not the women?
Don't know. I think we talked about it quite...
Alan thinks you did. Also, you talked about their relationship as being abusive without feeling the need to say that the character was a rapist. He's the ultimate male domination fantasy all too often found in cult fandom, and the show never once glorifies him or attempts to give him a sympathetic edge. I think overall commentary was fine, but
That's kind of what we talked about. That's the main point that we were making, I think.
He says, I think overall commentary was fine, but even more glaring when discussion is an all-male team. Now, I'd actually disagree with this, because I think there are points in the show where they do try to make him sympathetic.
You think, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't get any further with it.
So, yeah, when she decides to maybe help him go good, just she sees no way of stopping him unless she tries to, be with him, and it doesn't work. But I didn't really think that it was trying to make... I have read people, though, reading it as you saw, you know, you saw a sympathetic side to him, even.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, if we did focus on it, I honestly think... I mean, I'm not, as you can tell from the conversation that we had last week, I'm not a fan of the show. I'm not a fan of her. I find the conversation between her and her best friend just really, really hard to watch. I just think they just don't talk like real people.
Yeah.
But I'm not a massive fan of Ritter anyway, and I just I hate that kind of Prime Suspect did an amazing job of it, of making a really hard ass sort of character. And I don't think this is a very good one. I don't think it's very good at all.
And Kilgrave was quite an interesting character to talk about.
I think that's it. I haven't actually watched the show, even though I've done a lot of the work that we've done for the site. But every conversation I seem to have with people, it's they think the show's pretty good, but everyone really loves Kilgrave. Everyone's talking
I mean, love's a strong word for a rapist.
Well, not loves, but interesting character.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah. Fair enough. The other one is more pressing, though, Gav. And I think you know what's coming, don't you?
Fucking hell.
Just want to flag up Gav's comments about Robert Webb.
Oh, here we go.
He made some abusive remarks about the man and stated that he was a swear word deleted posh Tory based on his tweets.
Yes.
Until recently, Robert was a long-standing Labour Party member and activist. He backed Yvette Cooper for leader and has been hypercritical of Jeremy Corbyn. He has had non-stop abuse on Twitter for his willingness to engage in debate. The toxicity of that debate pushed him to resign from Labour. Even with that recent resignation, he is clearly not a Tory.
Yes.
But he is successful enough to probably not mind being called names or posh.
Yeah. So basically, I knew that he was a staunch follower of Party, but I just got it wrong. But I stand by my thing. He is a twat. If you look at his tirade against Corbyn the other week and why he's decided to leave Labour, he's an awful person.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to call people names, though.
Sorry, no, yeah.
Rory, I think you might have a good bit of feedback next.
Yeah, this is a great one from James saying, Duck Hunt. In the wake of Gav's comments about Robert Webb being a Tory on last week's podcast, I follow him on Twitter as well. And he's actually a member of the Labour, not the Conservatives, and uses Twitter as a political tool for Labour.
How many
Fair
more of these
enough
have
to
I
call
got?
him a twat, but Tory is a bit harsh.
Right. I think that's quite funny.
I thought it was good.
Yes, I got it wrong. I'm a big enough man to admit that I did.
We're moving on, though. We're moving on.
I bet there's more.
No, there isn't. There isn't. As for that David Mitchell, though,
Yeah.
bloody.
So Tony Shang from New Zealand, awesome, says, it's sad to hear that Luke is leaving IGN, as that has put a lid on my idea for the name of your podcast. Have Luke and Rory be the regulars on the podcast, well, that's not a good idea, with Alex/Chris/Dan/Gav as rotating hosts. The name of the podcast, The Babysitters Club. I mean, it's a good thing, but I think our listenership would plummet if it was just Luke.
It's a clever name for an unideal scenario.
I think
Excellent.
that no one's clicking on the Babysitters Club apart from like tweens or something.
Yeah, no one probably would want to listen to
That would be a
that,
very
so, yeah.
specific audience.
But also, I don't think you know how miserable that used to make me when I had to do podcasts where it was the two children together.
That was early days.
We talked about this, haven't we? That
Early
somehow it
days.
always seemed to be me that was left with you two kids.
It was loads of times as well.
People really
I think it was
people
twice,
really
but it
enjoyed
felt-
it though.
No,
I think it
I don't
was
think they
you're
did.
not liking it.
I got an email from Rob. So who was talking about how great Captain America 2 was?
All of us.
Okay.
Krupa. Krupa loves it. And you.
So
I think it's
Sure,
all right.
today.
Rob says, my only problem with Cap 2 was the revelation of Bucky. When there was the dramatic music and close-up and he finally took off the mask, I had no idea who he was until Cap said Bucky. He could have been unmasked from the beginning of the film and I wouldn't have recognised him up until that point. People are expected to have photographic memories or to watch movies several times to commit every character to memory, just in case they'd reappear later on. This is getting increasingly difficult with so many movies to watch and games to play these days. And then he says he's not as dumb as he sounds. But I'll be honest, I guess I knew going in, but I did think he did look quite a lot different.
his
To the
hair's
point that
longer.
I wouldn't. I don't.
I can kind of see that, but Bucky he's such a big part of the first one.
Yeah. He's also established in a flashback scene at the start of the
Sure.
second film when he's in the museum. He's right there and he says the line. that he
Rob,
says.
you've opened yourself up to all kinds of criticism here.
Like
but
Rory's remembered something, so like that's how bad it
testimony
is.
alone. Yeah.
thank you for the email, though, Rob. He says he loves the podcast. And
Amazing.
This is from Harry Green. Harry Green just says, "Damn, if I'd known you'd read my email on the show, I would have said something interesting. Hope there's no hard feelings, Rory."
Oh, is this the guy who said, "Have you ever been to a pub?"
Yes, I think so. I think it was. So that's it, really.
Oh,
no hard
nice.
feelings.
No hard feelings.
Harry.
We're
Okay.
getting to the end of the podcast then, I think.
We are, yeah. So
Yeah.
finally, this is really cool. Maybe one of the best bits of feedback we've ever been sent.
I'm
I
so
think so,
excited
yeah,
now.
definitely.
I haven't heard of this.
So basically, to set it up, I mean, Chris wrote. It was quite funny. What you just did it. You just wrote a theme song for Spectre.
Yeah, I thought before they do the big reveal of the song, this was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
6 months ago, 8 months ago. I thought I'd write my own Bond song and get someone to record it. And Tal and Naomi in the States, they like kind of jam sometimes. And
Yeah.
I think Tal's got a band. So I thought, well, I'll write it and get them to record it. Or I was even like trying to get Matt Berry to do it.
Yeah.
There's a few people I was trying to, and then it just kind of fizzled out. But I rewrote the lyrics to Reflector by Arcade Fire, and I wrote a song called Forgot About Spectre, and then nothing really happened. I forgot about it, and then the film came out. I was like, oh. So I thought I'd just stick it out there on Twitter and see
Yeah.
if anyone was interested in recording it, and lo and behold,
Ross Miller from the Outer Lives podcast got a guy called Oliver Thompson Smith to record the song. Do you know what? Like, I've been sent things before in other podcasts, songs and things like that, and a lot of the time when you get sent something, it's not very good. This is really, really good.
the guitar playing is pretty impressive.
I think it's awesome.
Because I genuinely thought they would sing over the top of a backing track.
Yeah, like a mid
Because it's
track,
on
yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
the backing track, because I tried it
Yeah.
myself. I can't sing, unfortunately, but just to see if it scanned. But yeah, he's like guitared it and sung
actually
it.
done something with it.
I
yeah.
mean, what was the best bit, do you think? The lyrics or the...
Well, I think the marriage of both, to
Okay.
be honest. I think, is obviously he's had good lyrics to work from, and that's probably spurred him
Building
on.
blocks to
And that's,
create.
he's done his best work.
I mean, I
ever
will
there.
say there's no female voice on it. They said they'd offer to re-record it with it. It's supposed to be man and woman singing, but
okay.
but we can make this a weekly thing. So
Yeah.
we're going to play the song now.
Yeah.
Have a listen. Let us know what you think. But if you want to re-record it, I can send you the lyrics.
Yeah.
Out there, we could have maybe. We could put together a whole album of Forgot About Spectre.
Well, let's put your tweet with the lyrics in this news story for this.
Yeah.
So if people want to find out, they can. But yeah, please keep sending in those songs if they're as good as Oliver's. But don't let them put you off. Even if they're rubbish, still send them in. But yeah, this is Oliver Thompson Smith's Forgot About Spectre. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Trapped in a mountain, surrounded by snow. Alone in a mountain with nowhere else to go. I met hands and friends in my Austrian face. Now an agent with a license to kill. An MI6 agent with a license to thrill. 007 kissing all the girls. But I don't have a soul, no, no, no. I thought I'd put a stop to Quantum. Forgot about Spectre. I thought I'd stop the spread of Quantum, but they were just Spectre. Emma's a friend, she had to ascend. We were at Skyfall when she reached the end. We were a team, we plotted and we'd scheme. And now it just seems like some bad dream. Now he's alone, nowhere to go. Shaken and stirred, out there on his own. 007, shacking all the girls. But I don't have a soul, no, no. I thought I'd put a stop to Quantum. Forgot about Spectre. I thought I'd start the spread of Quantum, but they were just Spectre. Forgot about Spectre. I thought I'd put a stop to Quantum. Forgot about Spectre. I thought I'd stop the spread of Quantum, but they were just Spectre. Forgot about Spectre. I thought I'd stop the spread of Quantum. They were just Spectre. I thought I'd stop the spread of Quantum. Forgot about Spectre. Since I was Spectre, there were an infection, need inspection, a nasty collection, in need of inspection and the correction. There's nowhere left to run. Take them out one by one. They're an infection, need inspection, an nasty collection, in need of inspection and the correction. There's nowhere left to run. Take them out one by one. I thought put a stop to Quantum, but I Spectre, might have been Spectre. I thought let's stop the spread of Quantum.